Henrietta was born in 1920, and she married her cousin Day Lax in 1941 in Clover, Virginia. Together they had 5 children: Lawrence, Elsie, Sonny, Deborah, and Joseph. When Joseph was born in 1950, Henrietta felt a knot in her womb, and she went to go have that examined. In 1951, it was diagnosed as cervical cancer at Johns Hopkins, and she began to undergo radium and X-ray therapy, which made her more sick. Unknown to her, her tissue samples were sent to Dr. Gay's lab. Dr. Gay has been researching immortality and has been taking patients' tissue samples in an attempt to create an immortal line of cells. Eventually, however, her tumor became inoperable and she was sent home, and on October 4th, 1951, she passed away. From the tissue samples sent to Dr. Gay, he was successfully able to create cultures of the first immortal human cell line in 1951 called HeLa, standing for Henrietta Lacks. This led to some incredible medical discoveries in the next few decades. For example, in 1952, the Tuskegee Institute opens the first HeLa factory as a non-profit organization. They became the first cells ever cloned and the first living cells ever shipped via postal mail. They were also used to create the polio vaccine. In 1956, HeLa cells were fused with mouse cells, creating the first ever human-animal hybrid. They were also used in various human experiments, such as in 1954 when Chester Southam begins conducting, without patients' consent, experiments by injecting HeLa cells to see if they could cause cancer. Before long, the entire world knew of HeLa. In 1971, in a tribute to the death of George Gay, Henrietta Lacks is correctly identified for the first time in print as the origin of HeLa cells, having previously known as Helen Lane. In 1975, Michael Rogers publishes an article about HeLa and the Lacks family in the Rolling Stone magazine. In 1985, bits and pieces of Henrietta's medical records were published without her family's consent. For the Lacks family, however, it was a complete surprise when they heard about the HeLa cells for the first time in 1973. They received no compensation from the government or institutes that used Henrietta's cells and continued to live in poverty. In 1988, things began to change. A 16-year-old Rebecca Skloot hears of the HeLa cells in a community college intro biology class for the very first time. Upon questioning her professor, who knew nothing about the origins of HeLa cells, she set out to find out more. In 1999, she visits Turner Station in hopes of interviewing a member of the Lacks family. After learning about the Lacks and publishing her book, Skloot set up the Henrietta Lacks Foundation to get the Lacks family the recognition and justice that they deserved.